Welcome back, everybody, to another Tuesday night chit chat. It looks like I am a little bit low. Let me see if I can fix that a little bit. There we go. Or maybe if I just sit back a little bit. So, how is everybody doing tonight? Um, I'm kind of excited. We had Amazon Prime Days and they're over now. So, so much for that. But I did get in some really fun stuff. And I kind of want to share that with you tonight. I want to know what you guys got. You can share that with me, and we'll just kind of go from there. So, I think we have some people in here. Roy, always the first one in. I love you to pieces. Good day, Sly. Great break from editing. That is what I did. I have been editing. I ended up taking on that last video that just dropped today for Slow Your Stroll, 6 hours of video, and I compressed it down into 20 minutes. So I have been an editing fiend lately, but I wanted to get it out for this morning, so that was good. And Randy made it in. Hi, Randy. He's saying hi to Roy. I bet he says hi to me. There she is. There I am. Hi, Slicey. Told you. Hi, Randy. Um, so one of the things that I got that I'm very, very excited about is this. This is just amazing. This is the YOLO Live. And I want to show you, I'm going to switch over to um, this is the Osbot Meet 2 4K. And I have been very happy with this camera. I've been using this for probably about a year or so. When they came out, the the software and everything for this camera was so intuitive and easy to use, and I really, really, really like this camera. And then Tom Buck did a video on the YOLO Live, and I'm just like, I was kind of blown away. And so that was I've been watching this ever since he came out with the video. It's been in my saved for later on Amazon, and it has never dropped below 199. Well, for Amazon Prime Days, it did. And so I went ahead and snagged one. And look at the flowers right here. Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1. Now look at the flowers. It gives you a lot more bokeh in the background. Bouquet, flowers, get it? Yeah, yeah, okay. It's not sitting just real straight tonight. I just noticed, but uh, I'm kind of afraid to touch it. I've got everything kind of precariously set, and apparently after I set it, my magic arm must have swayed just a bit. So we do not want to wake up a certain someone. So we're going to say, "Good day, Randy," so we don't wake up somebody. And Randy says that somebody is napping. So I don't want to call his name out because I'm afraid that'll wake him up. So, um, but as soon as I plug this in, I have not adjusted any of the settings, which I need to do. I know there are some settings I can tweak and make it look just, a little bit better. But this looks like I'm using a full-size camera. And so the Osbot is probably like that big square. The YOLO Live is probably that big square. So it is a little bit bigger, but it's still tiny by anybody's definition. It's still a tiny, tiny camera. And the picture quality is just, I'm kind of blown away. What do you guys think? See, Randy's giving me a thumbs up because it looks good. Or he's telling everybody else to give me a thumbs up. But either way, it's good. Yeah. So I'm just hugely impressed with this camera. Um, Now, once I was talking to my son about it, and when you put it in perspective, he asked me, is this twice as good as the other camera? Because it's twice the money, right? So he said, is it twice as good? I think maybe it is. Um, Ozbot, there is nothing wrong with this picture. So I'm very, very happy with the Ozbot, and I think you can get it for around 120, something like that. It was on sale for 98, I think. I just think this is a better picture. I don't know that it's twice as good. I would probably be hard pressed to say it's twice as good. And the OBS bot, OBSBot, I have set the settings on. I have not set, this is straight out of the box out with the yellow live. I have not set any settings. So I know I can tweak it, right? YOLO Live is micro four thirds. Is it? It could be. I don't know. I think it's a 1 over 1.3. I don't know. To be honest with you, I really don't. I know the sensor is bigger than what's in the OBSBot, but I have two of the OBSBots. I only bought one of the Yellow Live, which is highly unusual for me because normally I buy two of everything. But I wanted to try it out, and before I jumped off and got a second one, I wanted to see how the first one looked. And then my son said, "Well, is it twice as good because it's twice the price?" And I'm like, I don't know if it's twice as good. And it wasn't quite twice the price, but it was close. And so, yeah, anyway, I'm just tickled pink with this new camera. I will have to get in and mess with the settings. I don't have a lot of time, if you know what I mean. Okay, so the next thing I got, Chi-Chi, actually, I guess, Chi-Chi, it has a pivotable head, and it's a fan, and it lasts forever. It's got a little button right there, little button, and I don't know if it'll show. Yeah. So low is 20%. I don't know if you can hear that. Chris should be taking that out. It's showing that it's 99% charged. Media, I guess that's low medium. It kind of goes up in increments of 20. So there, that would be like a medium high, and then blow you away. This is so cool. Literally, it's a fan. Get it? It's cool. Um, but no, it really, even on 20, I don't, you can see it's blowing my hair. I mean, and that's like at arm's length. That's low. So that's pretty cool. This was like you do have to cycle all the way through to get it turned off, but this was on Prime days. It was like $15, I think. Now it's gone up to, I believe, 18, $3. Uh, but the charge lasts a really, really long time. So I've been playing with it, and it's 110 degrees here. I would say in the shade, but there is no shade. So it's 110 degrees. And this little thing, you wouldn't think that something this small would be enough to cool you down, but it is. Even if it's blowing 110-degree air, it's still blowing something on you. And so I just I don't know that I'll use this camping a lot, but it's really cool. And obviously, if you set it like this, you can put it on a tabletop and just let it blow on you. And so yeah, for summer, this is a winner. Uh-oh, we have one. Wait, what? Randy says the Yellow Cam S3 features a 1.128-inch CMOS sensor, often referred to as 1.13. Okay. The large format delivers rich light gathering and natural background blur for professional web streaming. Okay, if I could even read that, like, I don't have an announcer voice, but we could, this camera features a 1.13-inch sensor. The large format delivers rich light gathering and natural background. Okay, English is my first language, I promise you. It looks like it keeps, like the arm keeps inching down little by little. Roy says, my super chat still isn't working. Well, I appreciate the thought, Roy. Okay? Don't worry about it. I appreciate the thought because it just makes me feel good. You guys are the bomb diggity. Uh, Randy says features a larger micro four thirds CMOS sensor. This professional grade sensor supports interchangeable lenses and shoots up to 4K. I don't I don't know about the interchangeable lenses. I didn't realize there were. I mean, this to me is like perfect. Like I don't know that I would want it. I know I wouldn't want it any wider. I don't think I would want it narrower. I don't I mean maybe if you were on a like a video call with somebody, you might not want them to see what all's in your house or whatever, but this to me is like perfect. So, I'm assuming I don't know what I'm at because I got it, I plugged it in, and I really haven't looked at it since then. Um, so I don't know if it's at 4K 60 or 4K 30 or I really don't know what it's doing. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Randy. You're so sweet. Randy gave me a super chat. You guys are the bomb diggity. Um, thank you so very much. I just you guys mean the world to me, and you know that. Just the fact that you keep coming back every week and listening to me, right? I just yeah, that means the world to me. Thank you, Randy. Hal made it in. Hi, Al. Hi, all. Hi, Hal. I really can't talk tonight. I think it's something in the weather. Let's see. Sly, you have the S3, not the S7. I have the box somewhere, but I think you're right. I have the S3. So the S7, okay, has interchangeable lenses. Yes, I don't think this one you can interchange lenses. And if I remember right, the box did say S3. So yes. Randy's saying hi to Hal. Hi, Hal. Hal, I'm glad you came in. Okay, so the fan, well, this was the big, no, this was not, this was the big ticket item. No, it wasn't, but it was close. Okay. The fan was a little ticket item, but highly appreciated. Okay. Now you guys know I like flashlights, and if Prime is having a sale, you know I'm going to get a flashlight. And this one is tiny because I like tiny things. So, you think the Ozbot camera is small? Look how tiny that is. That is a flashlight. Let's see if I can find the. There we go. Yeah. It has a magnet. It's like magnetic. My magnet here. I can't actually put it on my necklace. I didn't get it on there very good, did I? But it does actually work. Maybe it's the other way around. I went out in the garage with it and it was shining down, which is, there we go. Maybe my thing's backwards. Here. It was shining down, but it lit up enough that I could see what I was doing, where I was going. And it comes with, and I meant to get that out of the truck. It comes with a little clippy thing so you can clip it on your hat and it becomes a headlight. Okay. I know, just get a headlight, right? But I thought it was kind of cool. Why do I keep going? I keep like getting my arm is I don't know that I can move that up, actually. Is that any better? A little bit. Okay. Um, it also comes with a little key ring thing. a little lanyard you can put through the holes on the back if it'll show it. Will it show it? I know you do that faster. It's USB-C charging, and it's got these two little holes right here that you can put the keychain thing through. You can also, it came with this, okay, and I understand this is about as cheesy as it gets. It's a one of those beaded chain things, so you can wear it around your neck. I get that this is, yeah, this would break. I would break this like first time out. So probably won't use that, but it's a nice thought. And then it came with a little wrist thing that I thought was a strap to make it a headlight, but it's too small to go around my head, and I have kind of a small head. So I'm assuming it's for your wrist. And then you can, whatever your hand is aimed at, you can see what you're doing. But it's pretty bright. It's got like 3 settings. That's low, medium, high, and for something this small, it's pretty bright. And I think this was like $18. It was not expensive. So I like things that are fun, somewhat useful, and not expensive. Okay? That's kind of my criteria. So, you know what they had on sale? I don't need another one, but I bought another one because my son lost one of my action cameras. It was one of the original, and so that put me down to 3. I really only shoot with 2, but it was something in my mind that, okay, now I'm missing one, and so I ended up buying another Osmo Action 5. The reason I went with the 5 over the 4, because I I kind of shoot more with the 4 than I do the 5. That may be changing because the 5 has a new feature. It's not new. It has a feature that I just found out about recently, subject tracking. So you can set the camera down and it looks like you have a cameraman because it'll track you a little bit. Now, obviously, if you walk out of the frame, it's not going to track you, but you can kind of move around and the camera moves just enough to make it interesting. So I went ahead and I got another 5. It was on sale. The 4s were on sale too, but I got a 5. Okay. And my big thing, let's see, what did Randy say? Hal saying hi to Randy. And Randy saying Amazon Prime was not helpful for what I wanted. But there were sales from Father's Day to the end of June, which helped in acquiring lenses and a camera. What camera did you get, Randy? Let's see. It's either a Panasonic or a Sony. It's probably a Panasonic, would be my bet. Roy says, I'm still loving the Wubin E7 you recommended. I still love the Wubin E7 too. In fact, I have it with me on my trip because that is still the bomb diggity. I mean, it's not the brightest I have, but uh, the Volasaber, Velociber, I don't know how you say it, but it's the one that'll light a fire, start a fire. And what I have found with that one is when it is in spotlight mode, okay, that thing will reach into the next county. But when it's in flood mode, it doesn't reach out so far. And it gets really, really hot. So for a $32 flashlight, yeah, it's still a good flashlight, but it's heavy, it's big. I would rather carry my Wubin. So, yeah, that's just me. Roy says, I am sick of gear that doesn't have replaceable batteries. Well, for $18, yeah, I'll give it a pass. I mean, it's going to last however long it lasts. And by then I'll be on to something new anyway. So I'm not too chuffed that it doesn't have replaceable batteries. But, and being on the road, at home, I have like this whole battery charging area, and I have those rechargeable double A's uh, and my camera batteries, and I just have like this whole. It's like it's made for a spice rack, and so it's 3 tier, and I've got electricity coming, right up to it, and then I've got all the different batteries on the 3 tiers, and I just have the cords run over for each thing. And it's great. And I love it, and it works great. On the road, I don't have that. So, yeah, if I'm home, I agree 100% with you, Roy. If I'm out and about, I kind of leave the batteries in whatever it's in. Randy says, where'd you go? OM system, OM3 retro camera that is weatherproof. Now you're talking my language. Because that's what I have got to have something that's weatherproof, preferably lake proof, river proof. Yeah, because what was interesting is when he capsized, he did so in very shallow water, but it was moving so fast that it took the camera who knows where. Somebody just got a new action camera. Um, so And I'm sure it's still working because he didn't have a mic plugged into it or anything, so it was totally waterproof. So whoever found it, yeah, they got a camera that probably is still working. So Scott made it in. Thank you, Scott. I've been wondering where you were. Just got in the door from an out-of-town gig. Let's get this party started. So speaking of Scott, I know your mother's computer was down for a while, but then I saw on Facebook where it got fixed, and I miss her. So would you tell her that I miss her? Because I liked it when she came in. So I hope she's doing well. Uh, so Rainey's asking Scott, what did you bring to eat? If you just walked in the door, what are we having? Barbecue sounds good. Roy says, you reminded me, just bought another Action Camera 4 30 seconds ago. So did you get the Osmo Action 4? I'm assuming since you said Action Camera 4, you probably did. The 4 is probably my favorite for daytime. But since I figured out this can track me, um, so I had somebody on Reddit ask me, they were getting ready to go on a honeymoon in Greece and they wanted to take an action camera, and should they get the 4 or the 5? Well, since I'm assuming their new spouse, is going to be with them, I suggested the 5 because you can put 2 mics on it. I'm by myself most of the time, and so a 4 is great for me, but I did notice when I was camping, there was a lot of shade, not like here, but while I was camping, there was a lot of shade. And the 4 really, really struggled with the low light. And then I broke out the 5, and that's when I noticed that it was tracking me. That's too cool. But yes, the Action 4 was on sale, I think $100 less than the 5. So that's cool. I miss in a loop AA batteries. I think that's what I have, Roy. Why do you miss them? Because I think that's what I have at home. Uh, Roy says, but is it Roy proof? Yeah, I think these are pretty Roy proof. Okay. If they can withstand a 6-year-old, they're probably pretty Roy proof. That not this one. I'm trying to think. I know the original action camera has been in a dinosaur's mouth. It has been dropped in a pond twice. Um, it has been dropped on the ground numerous times. My one of these, and I don't know if it was the 4 or the 5, I actually dropped because you know how they have the magnetic base and the selfie stick just magnetizes onto the base. I didn't have it locked in all the way. And I went to do something and it went flying off the thing and landed on the concrete. I thought I had broken the lens. Um, so one thing I highly, highly recommend, and as the same time I ordered the camera, I ordered these, is screen protectors for all 3 screens. Because I thought I had broken the lens. Now, you can replace this lens for $30, $36, something like that. Not expensive. And so I wasn't too upset. I was, just kind of irritated with myself for doing that. And see, it's the magic arm, guys. It keeps falling down. I don't know if it's going to stay up or it's not going to stay up. I'll just have to I'll just have to keep scooting back. Anyway, the so I actually had gone in and seen on Amazon, found a replacement lens, and then I discovered when I took it off, it was the lens the what do you call it? The lens protector had cracked, not the lens. And they come in a 2-pack. So I had another one. I just took the old one off, put the new one on, and good to go. But so I used the second one. So when I ordered the new camera, I immediately ordered the screen protector set and the cage. The screen protector set comes with the little doohickey, and somewhere up here is my 4. There's my 4. Same screen protector and everything fits the 4 just like the 5. So yeah. Um, but now I have 2 5s. Um, boop, 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 boop. Randy says, what is the difference between the Osmo Action and Osmo Pocket? While Osmo Pocket uses a sturdy mechanical 3-axis gimbal as its camera stabilization, the brand new Osmo Action provides shake-free footage thanks to DJI's Rocksteady, an advanced technology that features a combination of electronic image stabilization and complex algorithms. So to sum all that up, the as I worry about the gimbal, okay, I probably have nothing to worry about, and we are falling further and further down. I don't know if I can fix that or not. I will try. Okay. I would worry about the gimbal because, like I said, I just moved the selfie stick and it went flying off because it wasn't latched good. That's typical of me. Okay. So I would worry about the gimbal just because it's a moving part and these have no moving parts. One of the reasons I haven't gotten the 6 and I don't really want the 6, it has moving parts. The 4 and the 5, no moving parts on the outside. So yeah, I do have Rocksteady on, but when I saw that it was panning a little bit, I was like, this is too cool. So a lot of people vlog with the Pocket, what is it? The Pocket 3. And I think they're getting ready to come out with the Pocket 4. A lot of people use that and love it, and more power to them. They probably are not as klutzy as I am. I mean, I trip over my own 2 feet, guys. So yeah, I've got to have something that is pretty much bulletproof. Uh, because I don't want to have to worry about the camera. I just I want to go where I want to go and I want to film what I want to film, and I don't want to have to worry about, am I going to break something? That's why I use my M6 for like videos if it's on a tripod. But as far as for carrying it around, number one, it's what, 3 times the price of one of these action cameras. And plus, I think now it's probably obsolete. So I would have to get a whole new uh, camera system. And Randy's going, yeah, what's the problem with that? Um, but you've got a lot of money tied up in your cameras. And I don't want to have to worry about $1,000 camera and a, $300 lens dropping it. And if I drop this, from past history. All I have to do is replace the screen protector. It didn't hurt the camera at all. So, and I dropped it on concrete. So, yeah. Now, I could lose it. You know, so far we've lost 2 in the river, but I would be crushed if that was $1,300 floating down the river. You know, for less than $300, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not going to cry over it, but so for me, something that is this indestructible is great. I realize it does not take a clear picture. It does not have zoom. There are so many things it does not do, and I get that. I completely understand that. But for less than $300, it does what I need it to do. And it's small to boot. I like small. Randy says Pocket 4 is for cinematic footage and good in wet weather and low light. Temu has it for $98. Really? Wow. Are you sure it's a DJI? I would be suspect. I have ordered a lot of stuff from Temu. Um, I am willing to order their t-shirts. I might even be willing to order a camp chair. I don't know that I would order electronics. I have ordered electronics from them before, and every one of them has had a problem. So I won't order electronics anymore, but that's just my personal experience. Um, I can't remember now. I ordered like it was supposed to, it looked really cool on their website. It was like a round disc that had sand, and as the light warmed up the fluid or whatever, the sand was supposed to, do one of these real rocking motion type things. The thing never worked. Never worked. I ordered a dragon light that when you turned it on, it was supposed to look like the dragon was breathing fire. And I got the package with the USB cord and something else, but no dragon light in it. So now Temu is great about refunding your money, but yeah, I would be kind of suspect of ordering anything electronic from Temu. Randy says, good point. Yeah, that's just my personal experience. Roy says, probably a Temu fake. Yeah, for $98, that's kind of, I would think so. Okay, so my big thing that I got, I think it was, no, it wasn't the most expensive. The Action 5 was the most expensive. But, so, I've done 3 days of camping. I did a national park, a state park, and a private campground. And I now know that I like having electricity. So I can charge my stuff. Okay. I can charge my stuff in my truck. For some reason, if I get on my phone and I play very many games, the battery dies fairly quickly. Now I have power banks. I get that. And that was my argument with myself is you have power banks, you can charge your power banks and then they will charge your stuff overnight. Yes, they will. But it was on sale. So now no matter where I go, I have electricity. I don't have any idea how long this will last. It's supposed to run a CPAP machine for 8 hours. So I'm thinking it will charge my fan, my cameras, my phone. It's got all these little uh, 2 USB A's and 2 USB C's. It will charge my laptop. That's probably not something I'm going to charge on the road. I don't use my laptop very often, but I do charge my cameras like almost every night. And it does have 2 outlets, so I can like plug something in. Um, This you charge it. They send it with a cord to charge the unit itself, and you charge it over here. It weighs about 9 or 10 pounds, so it's not cumbersome. But yeah, now I have a, I don't know what you call that. What do you call it? A generator? It's not really a generator. A power station. It's a power station, right? Yeah. So now I have one of those. Where I'm going home, the route I'm taking to get home, 2 nights are primitive camping with no power and no water. So um, that will come in handy. And it was on sale. Did I mention that? Yeah. Uh, Roy says, I have a EcoFlow version for when the power goes out. I looked, boy, it was neck and neck. The EcoFlow, I think, had one outlet on the front and two on the back. And I think I'd rather just have them all on the front. I think that was the deciding factor. So, but EcoFlow is a very good brand. Roy says, but can it power a coffee machine? Yes, it can. I watched a video and the guy, well, I watched several videos, but the guy was running one of those little Keurig coffee makers, and that thing had no problem. He plugged it right in, made his coffee, unplugged it, everything was good to go. So I don't know how many cups of coffee it would make, but I know it would make at least one. So if you ever come to visit Roy, you're guaranteed 1 cup of coffee. And you might get more. So I don't really drink coffee, but one girl, now I'm not sure how long it would run it because she didn't really say, but it powered one of those mini fridges. She had a, not a Suburban, a Blazer, and she had one of those mini fridges in the back, and it was powered by one of those. And she didn't have to have an ice chest. Now, I think she only went out for overnight, and I guess it would depend on how many watts the refrigerator pulled, as far as how long that would run. But um, yeah, Randy says 600-watt continuous, 1500-watt peak output, 288-watt portable power station, push button start, battery solar generator for campsite. Yes, that's it. It's the Blue Yeti 30-volt, 30 Elite 30 version 2. It's a mouthful. Yeah. But it was on sale, and I thought, I don't have one, and this would be a good entry level, and that's what it is. It's their bottom, they're the smallest one they make, uh, entry level power station. And I can charge, I have, if my truck is running, it has a 120 outlet in it, but the truck has to be running. Well, you don't want to leave your truck running all night, right? Um, I'm sure that would cost a lot more than what this thing would cost to run. So, Randy says 239 at Home Depot. Well, I didn't pay near that much at Amazon because I got it during Prime Days. Now, from what I understand, the price of these things fluctuates hugely. Like, you better check it every day because it goes up and down. Um, and so I think I checked it for like the last 90 days, and it was the lowest price it'd been in 90 days. So, uh, plus I used a coupon code from a YouTuber, and I got another 5 or 10% off. So, yeah. So that's kind of my Amazon haul. Um, I knew I was going to buy some stuff. The power, what do you call that? The Blue Yeti was not on my list when I started. I had been thinking about getting another camera to replace the one that went in the river. Um, I really hadn't decided between the 4 and the 5 until I started editing the videos. And when I saw the 5 was tracking me, I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, I'll get a 5 to replace the one I lost. But um, the the original and the 5 look about the same in the daylight. The 4 is just everything is just much more defined. The 5 kind of softens everything. So one of the problems that I'm having here, and you guys might be able to help me with this. Um, so I've got 8 videos I need to make, and I had planned on making them while I was out here. And I've got my M6 Mark II with the 15 to 45 lens set on the tripod on the back porch, back patio, whatever you want to call it. It's shaded. And then she's got a really nice table out there that I can use to set the products and stuff on. And it's shaded, which is great. She's got this lush backyard with all kinds of plants, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I would love for that to be in my background. However, this is what I'm finding out. Because the camera and I are in the shade and the backdrop is so bright, it's too bright outside for my lights to work because they're not, they're for indoors, obviously. They're not that bright. Um, but it is so bright outside that when the camera focuses on me and I look great, as great as I look, everything behind me almost turns yellow. And it's not yellow, it's extremely a real rich green looking. Palm trees and I am not a plant person, so I couldn't tell you what the names of these things are, but there's like a bush out there with orange flowers and her backyard's just gorgeous. But every time I've tried to make a video, we have had 0 clouds. I keep hoping, but I've been here for 3 weeks and it's like, yeah, 0 clouds. So, is there a way to keep the background green in the bright sunlight and still see me? Because when I adjust the camera to where the background is beautiful and then I move in front of the camera, you can't see me at all. I get very, very dark. And if I adjust it to where you can see me, then the background gets all yellow. So if you guys know of any solution to fix that, I would love to hear it. I do have some ND filters, but with the camera being in the shade, it kind of just made everything, it didn't help. It just kind of made everything darker. Randy says, get it before a typhoon, hurricane, or tornado in our case, right, Randy? Um, yeah, I don't know. So when I get home, see that's what I was thinking is, yeah, I'm going to be on the road for like 6 days when I go home. But when I get home, I can actually plug either the router or the computer into this. And so I won't lose my Wi-Fi, even if the power goes down. So, and the power has gone off twice since I've been gone. I have a security cameras, uh, and it tells me it will run for 30 minutes without power. And so it tells me when power has been off for more than 30 minutes. So twice I've lost power. Um, so I can put the router on this thing and it's got a 10 millisecond switch rate. And so if I lose power, it'll switch over to this unit and keep it running for I have no idea how long. Roy says, I bought the EcoFlow because it was on sale. See, Roy, you and I think a lot alike, right? You need a light on you. See, that's what I'm afraid of. And I don't have with me like these lights that I'm using now. Obviously, it's getting dark outside, so you can tell I've got lights on me. They're great for indoors, but when you put them outside in the bright sunlight, you can't even see them. And so I'm thinking I need maybe 2 of those cob lights. Is that what they're called? Um, which I'm wondering if a couple of flashlights would work. Just yeah, who knows? I'll have to. I keep praying for clouds. If the backyard was cloudy, everything would be perfect, but it hasn't happened yet. And so I have been trying to find a park that has trees that could shade me, but yeah, so far no. Okay, Roy says you need to be in lighting or get a camera with a bigger sensor with more dynamic range. Okay, so the M6 Mark II has a bigger sensor than my action cameras. That's what I'm trying to use. I've got it on a tripod, and that's what I'm trying to use. Um, but maybe I just don't know how to set it up. That's always a strong possibility. Roy says priorities. I have battery backup on the internet and on my computer. So yeah, my router and my computer, the whole array of computer stuff, which I think would be too much for this little unit because remember I'm running a PC, a Mac, 4 monitors, and the router. I think would be too much pull on this. Um, and normally, I guess if I was doing a live stream, I could plug in the computer, but normally if the power goes out, it's on within a couple of hours. And so I don't really freak out too much about it. I just go find something to do outside. Not really a big thing for me. I lived in the country for 8 years on top of a mountain, and we lost power for 11 days in an ice storm, and I didn't freak out about that. So I'm probably not going to freak out if power goes out for 2 hours. Just saying. And Carlos made it. Hey everyone, where are you, Sly? I am in Henderson, Nevada, outside of Las Vegas. I will be here until I think the fourth week in July, so another month. Um, I was going to come home the third week, and I was asked to stay, so I'll be here until the fourth week in July. Um, my daughter's moving either the end of July or beginning of August, and I want to be home for that. So that's where I am. And it is hot. I people actually live here because they want to. 110 degrees. I think you could almost feel your tires melting as you're sitting at a stoplight. It is so hot. And I'm sure it's because it's summer. I get that. But goodness, I it's cooler in Oklahoma. You're going to like Oklahoma, Carlos. Promise. Randy says, put on suntan lotion, sunglasses, and sit outside next to the flowers. You know, I thought about carrying the table out there, and I may still do it. She's got a little walkway, and this table is a good sized table. It's probably 3 feet by 3 feet. So it's a good sized table. I can scooch it with no problem. I don't know if I can lift it. And her walkway is way narrower than 3 feet. So I would have to lift it up over the flowers to get it out there. Now, she's got a perfect area out there, but yeah, I don't know that I could do that by myself. I might try. And then I would make one of those squinty eye videos or with shades. Yeah. Luis has the S7. That's cool. I I that is probably a lot more expensive. Um, does it do the S7 probably is the one that does the pan. Does it follow him around like when he moves? This one does not. Roy says hours without a computer or coffee intolerable. Try days. When we lost power, it was in winter, and the all the power lines down our road snapped and broke. and they said they couldn't find, they didn't know we were back there. However, they never missed a month reading back then they had to read the meters. They never missed a month reading the meters, so they knew where we were. They just were busy fixing other people, and I understand that. We were like a mile, well, the nearest neighbor down that road was probably 2 or 3 miles away. And so, when you're the last one on a run and you're that far away from everybody else, you are a low priority. Like it or not, you're a low priority. So the fact that we had power back on in 11 days was, I mean, I was fine with it. It was cold enough. We had a great big huge ice chest, and we just put everything from the fridge in the ice chest and set it outside. And we were fine. We had gas heat. Our cook stove was gas. Our water heater was gas. So, I mean, other than lights, it didn't really affect our day to day. The kids were out of school the whole time, but it didn't really affect our day to day stuff. So we just set the cold stuff outside and it was great. But now that I've moved into town, um, it's usually the most I think it's been is 2 hours. And yeah, that doesn't really faze me. So, um, Roy says if the light is right, a reflector might solve your shade problem. Okay, well, it's kind of, so if I'm brighter, so I need to match my background. Is that what you're saying? I need to be as bright as what's behind me. I don't know that a reflector would fix that. It sounds like I just need to take the table and hoss it out into the sunlight. So, and I could do that like in the evening or early in the morning when it's, in the low 90s. I could do that. 110, it's pretty, yeah, kind of bakes me. It's like 10 minutes outside and you can tell I've been in the sun. Roy says we only usually lose power when a bushfire gets close. Yeah, I could see that. I guess there's lots of fires in Colorado right now. I don't know. I was going to go home through Colorado. Maybe a change of plans. Aha. $800. The uh, YOLO Cam S7 is typically bundled with a dedicated YOLO Live 18 millimeter f1.4 micro four thirds lens, 36 millimeter equivalent to a full frame. Um, I mean, that would be okay because it's far enough away that, 36 millimeter would be fine. But it's not like an action camera where you're trying to hold it at arm's length. So, but the $800 price tag is kind of steep, when this was less than 200. So I'm sure it won't do everything the S7 will do. I'm 100% sure of that. But for less than $200, this is an amazing picture. I'm very happy with it. Very happy, very happy. Randy says, or just get a tripod instead of messing with the table. Well, I need something to put the product on. I can't just stand out there in front of the camera and go, "Ooh, look at me, Vanna White, look at me." So I need something to put the product on. That's what the table's for. So, um, yeah, I can, you know, drink a Red Bull and hoist it up and get it out there. I've just been reluctant to do that. Her patio furniture has sat out in the sun for about 15 years in this brutal, brutal sun. And I went to sit down in one of she's got like a chaise thing. It's like a two-seater and it rocks. And I went to sit down in that, and the material is toast. Uh, as soon as I even touched it, you could hear it ripping. And so I immediately jumped back up and I'm like, oh. She's like, yeah, did I tell you those were rotten? I'm like, no, you didn't. But I found out really quickly. Randy says California turns off the electricity when there's a fire. Yeah, I'm going to have to really research Colorado because I have heard they evacuated campers and even some kayakers. And so I don't know where the fires are, but my plan was to go through Utah, across Colorado to Denver, uh, down 25 south of Denver, and then go across and pick 70 back up and keep going. Um, like I said, it's 6 days to get back home. So, and that's okay. Uh, Royce says to Randy, fires turn off power here too. Yeah, they do that so they don't get an explosion, I think. Scott says maybe do your video outdoors using your lights, but later in the evening. Well, so the sun sets, like the back patio faces west, and so the sun sets out that way. But I think I would have about 10 minutes where it's down far enough and I could use my lights, and then the lights outside, uh, her brother-in-law has got like there must be 50 things that light up out there. It's beautiful at night. So I may have to do one at night and just use my lights kind of like this time of night where the sun is pretty much down, I think. I think sunset around here is a little bit after 8, and so set the lights up and yeah. I'm gonna play with it. We'll see. Normally, um, this caregiving thing is a full-time job, and like 20 hours a day type job. Um, Cooking, cleaning, caregiving, all that whole thing. She cannot transfer like to the potty or to the shower, So I do have help coming tomorrow. Um, And so between I think between two of us, we can wrestle her in the shower maybe. But it is what it is. She's 93. So really good attitude. Her memory is 100% intact. And her body is just failing her where she's not really mobile anymore. So um, you know, totally not her fault. So I hope when I'm 93, if I make it that long, that my memory is still as sharp as hers because she can remember everything. And it's funny because she has a photographic memory, so she knows where everything in the house is. It's kind of eerie. Randy says Smokey the Bear was started in New Mexico and now it's all over US. Famous quote from Smokey, only you can prevent forest fires. And do you know who Smokey the Bear's voice was? Do 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 do. Sam Elliott. Just for some little trivia there. Yeah. Um, that was one of his first jobs, was being the voice of Smokey the Bear. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that Smokey the Bear campaign uh, was born on he was born on the day the campaign aired. So obviously he didn't do the original voice, but Sam Elliott was the voice of Smokey the Bear. So only you can prevent voice fires. Yes. Um, which I think that's pretty true. I've never seen, my grandson likes that 99 Nights the Deer, which is kind of a gruesome thing, but whatever. But I've never seen a deer out there trying to start a fire. Maybe if they rub their hooves together really fast like a cricket. Yeah, no. It's always people and things people do. Stupid things people do. Randy says, "Do you know who the first McDonald's clown was?" Um, I do not. The first Ronald McDonald? I do not. Or was the first McDonald's clown Ronald? I don't know. And you would think I mean, yeah. I think McDonald's was started in like 59 and I was born in 62, so let's see. Hint. He was on the Today Show as the weatherman. I still don't know. But I don't watch TV very much, so yeah, I don't know. Who was it, Randy? Some trivia I know and some I don't. So, Trivial Pursuit, I do pretty good until it gets to sports. And there was another one that I wasn't too good at, and I can't remember now what it was. Um, I think it was like TV and entertainment and sports were my two worst subjects. History, science, all that stuff. Willard Scott. All right. That's pretty interesting. So, was he the first Ronald, or did McDonald's have a different clown before Ronald? So, if you think about it, I doubt that a restaurant now would have a clown as a mascot thing because people are kind of scared of clowns. So, um, I watched a video the other day of clowns run in the upstate New York, running around the woods scaring people in clown masks or makeup and kind of eerie, scary clowns, not really funny clowns, but So, um, okay, so that's my finds. I got my fan, my flashlight, my camera, my power bank thing. Um, I think that's all I got. And oh, and this camera. Yeah, I thought I got two cameras. Um, so I did pretty good on Amazon. I don't know how much I saved. Probably not that much when it's all said and done. But they did, I think I told you last week, these were running 330 and they went down to 280, 288, something like that. So it was about $50 off. And the power bank was, I think it was 40 or $50 off. So I was happy. So um let's see. Randy says first commercial with the clown, he was skateboarding. He must have been a lot skinnier then, if it's the one I'm thinking of. Roy says first Ronald McDonald had a square hat and a cup on his nose. Okay. See, that's way before my time. Roy says all you need now is a solar panel. Um, I kind of thought about that. And maybe down the road that will be something that, but this is the first power bank thing I've ever had. I have all kinds of I don't have one in here with me, but I have all kinds of the little, aren't those called power banks? What is this called? This is not a power bank. This is I don't know what you call that. But anyway, I have all kinds of the little ones, and I actually have one that is it's small, but it's really, really heavy. And that thing will charge my phone like 6 or 8 times. It runs forever. I think it's too big to take on an airline, but and so I have a lot of those. But if I'm wanting to charge a couple of cameras and a microphone that I've used that day and my phone, I needed something a little bit bigger. So, do I want to go solar with it? I don't know that it would be worth it at this point because, and I I give you guys half a thought and then I go on to something else. I'm really bad about that. Sorry. Um, so you charge this with an AC cord, right? My truck, when it's running, produces 110 volts. It's got a little button and you turn it on and the outlet becomes live. So if I deplete this, I think, I could be wrong, it may not work, but I think I could plug it in while I'm driving down the road, and by the time I got where I was going, this would be charged. I think, without depleting the truck's battery. So that's my plan. So I don't think I need solar panels at this time. That may change. But as far as, since I'm only going, one night here, one night there, I was going to try to stay 2 nights a couple of places, but that would put me driving 8 hours, and I just don't want to do that. I'd rather stay one night, drive 4 hours, spend one night, drive 4 hours. Randy says, Anchor Power Bank is great. Anchor makes one of these things, like the Blue Eddy, and I looked at it. It's like a tall, skinny version. It does have a light on the front of it, and I can't remember now. I think it was the USB-C outlets that I didn't like, I think. I looked at the Anchor, the EcoFlow River 3, the Blue Eddy. The River 3, everybody recommended the River 3 Plus, and it was quite a bit more expensive than this one. So that's kind of how I ended up with this one. But I mean, I think at the entry level point, any of them would be just as good as the other. So there's that. But yes, Anchor, most of what Anchor has is good. I actually have an Anchor power bank, but it's one of the smaller ones that has the USB-C built in. And my cameras are USB-C, microphones, all that good stuff. But my phone is still Lightning. So yeah. So I think, no, it's Inu, INIU, I think is the brand. I have two of their power banks and they both work really, really good. So I like that brand a lot. But I do have an Anchor, and I think the other one is a Baseus, the really, really heavy one. So yeah, I all over the place. Roy says to Randy, all Anchor stuff is great. I kind of have to agree with that. They did send out a product recall on the power bank, and my serial number was not one of the ones in the recall. So, but I have the great and I have all of them. Well, I don't have the Anchor one with me. I don't know why. I have the Baseus that's really heavy and, will charge for like days. And then the two Inu, INIU, is it Inu? I think is how you say it. Um, one is an older version of, one's a newer version of the older one. I mean, they're about the same size, but this is more for, I can plug everything in at night, have everything ready to go in the morning, and then if I need to recharge this, I can plug it into my truck because it's right by the tailgate. And I don't know if you watched my last video, there's not a lot of room left in my truck. Okay. I took way too much stuff. If I ever do this again, I'm leaving a lot of it at home. But so I'm having to be kind of selective about what I buy because there's not a lot of room. I mean, I Tetris things in there as good as I could get them, and there's just not a lot of room. So, but I think it'll fit and I'll have room to plug it in. Um, so anyway, that was my thought process. We'll see if it works. Scott says Wilfred Brimley. No, Willard Scott. The one I was thinking of was Al Roker. It wasn't him either. But yeah. So, well, guys, I am going to go. It has been very quiet in there. She promised me a very quiet live stream after last week. And it was funny because um, she was muttering over there, and this is like this room right here is the living room. And so it's all kind of one big room. And she was muttering, and then the phone rang 3 times, and I was getting a little anxious, and Chris took all of it out. So I asked my son, I'm like, how bad was it? And he's like, what are you talking about? And so I went back and I watched it, and I'm like, wow, Crisp is amazing. So yeah, I mean, you can tell that I got distracted, but you couldn't hear the phone, and so it was amazing. Raina says, "Have a great week, everyone. Until next time, stay safe and keep smiling. Cheers." Thank you, Randy. Thank you guys so much for coming in. You guys really mean the world to me. Did everybody know y'all need to hit that thumbs up button? I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for hanging out with me every single week. I cannot tell you how much it means to me. And Randy, thank you for the super chat. Uh, Roy, I appreciate you trying, buddy. And we'll do this again next week. I have no idea what's going to happen between now and then, but we'll think of something. Good night, everybody.